It is 1 o'clock. Welcome back in. This is Three-Man Front on Jocks. We are live at Social Taco as we are each and every Tuesday. Appreciate Mike Griffith joining the show earlier on in the program. Sean Fox from Sports Talk 97.7 down in the boot in Louisiana as we talked Will Wade and Lane Kiffin with him. Jason Caldwell from Auburn Undercover gave us a preview of the Auburn Tigers baseball. And joining us now, as he does each and every Tuesday, to talk all things, whatever we'd like to talk about, with Demetri Ravanos from Awful Announcing. He's also our North Carolina Bureau Chief for Three-Man Front. Hey, Meat.
How you doing, boys?
We're doing fantastic. Wish you were down here. It's just a balmy 89, humidity of about 150%, and we got SEC baseball.
Are you telling me that it is hotter in North Carolina right now than in Alabama?
Yeah,
it's hotter there?
Is it really?
I sit here on my back deck, I'm looking at 92 degrees on our thermometer.
Really?
But what's the humidity? Let's get down to it. What's the humidity?
The Alabama humidity, particularly as you go lower down in Alabama, certainly cannot be beat. But Raleigh and Birmingham, not that different humidity-wise.
That's amazing. Did not realize that. But I did know that you guys on the Eastern Seaboard were experiencing some really ridiculous temperatures right now. So.
Yeah. I was in Atlanta over the weekend, and I got back to Raleigh Saturday night. It felt like I stepped into an oven.
Yeah, it is typical SEC baseball tournament weather. We just need some thunderstorms, and it'll be right at home. All right, so let's talk about what we should expect next week. I love to talk to people around the country in regards to Greg Sankey and the SEC spring meetings coming up in Destin, Florida. Do you think that we're going to be building up something that nothing's really going to happen and it's going to be very pedestrian conversation? Or do you think we'll actually get some fireworks down in Destin?
I mean, I think that you are going to have Greg Sankey talking very tough about 24 versus 16 teams in the college football playoff. But, you know, at the end of the day, we're at a stalemate. I think nothing happening is kind of what the SEC wants. I think the real fireworks for, say, like Greg Sankey and Greg Byrne, we are not going to get to see that. But I'm positive it will happen.
Yeah, but there's got to be a way, right, that we can monetize. We're constantly looking for additional and new revenue streams in college athletics. How can we monetize this thing? You're at a beautiful destination. It's some of the most beautiful beaches you're going to find anywhere in the world. Why can't we monetize this and have the fans go and spend some money to be entertained by whatever they're going to be doing in Destin?
No, I agree with the sentiment. Like, I certainly think we should be setting up some sort of if you have a Mississippi driver's license, pay $15 and come talk to Lane Kiffin for about 10 minutes, sort of event at like Harry T's or something like that. But I think that if I'm ESPN, if I am running the SEC network, I certainly would rather see something like that than carry press conference after press conference or no press conference, just our buddy Paul Feinbaum talking about what might be happening inside.
All right, so let's talk about the ACC. Jim Phillips, Ph.D., the commissioner of the ACC. He says, why are you laughing? He's a Ph.D.
Oh, no,
Give him respect. Give him respect.
He is a good friend of our organization up here, but I will fun inside baseball for you guys. Still, to this day, likes to have it mentioned in interviews that before he ran the ACC, he ran Northwestern University, quote, one of the top 10 universities in America.
My point exactly. That's why I always, when I mention Jim Phillips, Ph.D., I make sure that Ph.D. is at the back end. It's like a trademark. I make sure that he gets his proper respect. He says that everyone, it's unanimous in the ACC. They all want 24. Do you buy that? Or is that just him flapping his gums? Do you think everyone really wants 24 in that league?
I think that as long as the idea of the SEC and Big Ten getting more automatic bids than the ACC and the Big 12 is eliminated, yes, I do believe everybody wants more access. I think that coming out of the ACC meetings down in Amelia Island, I think that They did a really good job of showing a united front when it comes to the college football playoff. Where you saw cracks in the conference was anytime someone with any amount of power was asked about Notre Dame. I think it's easy to get a consensus on what is good for the conference. It is harder to get a consensus on the value that a school that does not really want to join the conference brings to football in the ACC.
If you're Jim Phillips, Ph.D.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Show respect.
You're creating a brochure to hand out to people who have never heard of the ACC. What are you highlighting? What are you highlighting on that brochure? What's going to be inside that little pamphlet?
I mean, honestly, you are at this point in 2026, the year of our Lord. I think you're highlighting history more than you're highlighting what is going on right now, right? Like, you are probably highlighting the history of ACC basketball, because if you are highlighting the current of ACC basketball, it's a whole lot of, this Duke team was so awesome. Remember how they didn't win a championship?
Yeah. Couldn't you say the same in ACC baseball?
Yeah. I mean, baseball, I think you could say the same up until a few years ago when the SEC just absolutely lapped them. You could say the same in women's basketball. Like, this kind, look, I mean, it's even true of football, right? Like, look how quickly Clemson's national championship status just kind of fell apart. And now the best they can do is be runner-up one year, and the year before, a half member is runner-up. Like, there's a whole lot of, like, we're almost there to the ACC. I think if you were to ask Jim Phillips, Ph.D., what he would want to highlight is that this conference is the home of great academics. Like, that has been what has held the ACC back forever and ever and ever, is at some point we just have to acknowledge reality of GPAs are not doing anything for what the fundamental goal of a college athletic conference is, but this conference is married to them.
No, GPAs are not entertaining. You're exactly right. You're totally right on that. And wouldn't it be something, you're talking about highlighting the conference, I mean, are we putting Stanford men's water polo there on the brochure as a proud member of the ACC?
I mean, I think legally we can't, right? Isn't water polo one of those things like college hockey where they have all their own, like, made-up conferences? Like, Notre Dame, I think, played for a national championship in hockey a few years ago. The ACC doesn't get to claim that.
Wow. Demetri Ravanos joins us here as he does each and every Tuesday. Let me ask you about another knucklehead, and it's Jamie Pollard, who's the athletics director at Iowa State. He ran his mouth to some Cyclone website, and there's audio of it. And he basically, I'm paraphrasing, but he has told the Big Ten and the SEC, we don't need you. Like, go away. Like, you guys go off and do your own thing. We don't need you. I just can't wait for you to have to go play all these other sports with each other as opposed to, you know, the rest of us in college sports. How do you think that goes over well with the likes of Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti when they see the comments from a Big 12 sitting athletics director?
Yeah, I mean, that goes over like, like me saying to Sydney Sweeney, I don't need you hitting on me. Stay away. I'll be fine without you. Right? Like,
ew, gross.
If nobody's
that is nasty.
Yeah, exactly. Disgusting. If nobody is knocking down your door, like if you're Iowa State, you can take that position because I don't think the Big Ten, I don't think you're ruining any potential for either of those schools. You notice who's not saying that? The athletic directors of places like Kansas and North Carolina and Duke, places with something to offer the SEC and the Big Ten. I think the Big 12 actually is doing much better in the Power 2, Mid 2 era of power conference athletics than the ACC is. But this is why you have one person be the one unified voice and don't let the athletic directors freelance. Because as good as Brett Yormark has done, Pollard just makes himself and the conference sound small time with comments like that.
I know that we'll get an honest answer from you. You just used the Sydney Sweeney example. Take another Hollywood actress that is
Okay.
considered by most to be very attractive, that Demetri would say, "Oh, no, do not hit on me."
Are we doing it in the same vein as Sydney Sweeney, or are we talking about like literally, Demetri is not interested?
Literally, Demetri is not interested.
Oh, listen. As a man who has been married for more than 20 years, I'm happy to talk to anybody who would like to talk to me. And to my family in Alabama that is listening right now, these are just conversations. Who's to say
These are just
anything is,
hypotheticals.
on my mind?
Yeah, these
That's
are just
right.
hypotheticals.
You noticed I didn't say fair when you ended that statement.
I didn't say anything either.
I talk and communicate for a living. Who am I to say no to somebody that wants to have a conversation?
Something tells me they know you well enough by now that you're okay.
They know me well enough to know that I talk a big game, and the second a pretty woman appears in my eyesight, I turn into like a 11-year-old on the playground, staring down at my feet.
As we're just running the gamut here with Demetri Ravanos, I do have to ask you, do you think it was a fair proposal for Brendan Sorsby at Texas Tech to offer the NCAA, I will take a 2-game suspension, although I bet on 10,000 college games and sports? Do you think that was fair, or do you think he should have gone a little bit higher than the 2 games?
I mean, look, we have all seen the photos of the judge that will be deciding the case by now, haven't we? Like, I'm amazed he offered even 2 games.
Guns up, baby.
I mean, that is, after the Charles Bediako thing, everybody has cracked the code. I'm sure that, which is the kid's name, Louise, that just signed with LSU, that we're not even sure if he's allowed to play college basketball or not. Like, everybody has figured out the code. To me, the thing about the Sorsby judge that is the most surprising, and I do not mean this as a shot at Texas Tech, I had no idea they had a law school. That's what surprised me about that story.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I didn't know judges could go to Texas Tech.
So you mean people in Texas, they don't go to the University of Texas for their law degree? They go to Texas Tech?
I mean, that is not – when you put Tech in the back – like Georgia Tech doesn't have a law school. Virginia Tech doesn't have a law school. Like, I would imagine that a judge that comes out of Texas Tech would exclusively know the laws of physics, and that is the only law they would know.
Are you applying to Austin before you're applying there in Lubbock?
Are you trying to say that you couldn't get in Austin, so you go to Texas
Well, you
Tech?
guys you got some great law schools there in the state that you reside. What's number one if you're applying to a law school?
I mean, probably Duke, I would think. Duke, or you know what? It depends on what you want to do. If you want to be a lawyer, Duke. If you want to be a politician, UNC.
Okay. Where does Wake fall in all of that? They don't fall in any of it? Don't they have a law school?
They do have a law school. I would say Wake is a great place if you wanted to get a degree without a state's name on it, and you have a lot of money, you don't care what it returns for you.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Yep.
Well,
yeah.
Knew a similar situation.
What is NC State known for? Is that more the agricultural?
The farmers?
So do you know that up here in North Carolina we have a ton of Auburn graduates, and it is because Auburn and NC State are so similar of schools that tons of people will go to one for undergrad and the other for grad school.
How about that? I did not know that. That's cool.
Yeah, so when I first got up here and saw that there was a state of North Carolina Auburn license plate, I was very confused, and I had to do some digging.
That's fascinating.
All I'm saying is you try to get that dog to fly around the stadium before a game. Good luck.
You're talking about Mr. and Mrs. Wolf, right?
Oh, sure. That's what they're called.
Yep.
Clemson was Auburn with a lake, right? Auburn with a lake.
That's right.
Yeah.
Auburn with a lake.
There's some similarities.
Yeah, and NC State is Auburn in the city.
I do ask you, because you're a movie buff. I was asking Pat about this movie. I cannot call it, but it's Brendan Fraser, and it goes back to the D-Day invasion and some of the things that they encountered. Are you 2 thumbs up? You anxious for this movie?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I believe it's a D-Day weather movie where it's called Pressure. It's about the critical weather forecast that determined the timing of the Normandy invasion. I think that's
sounds thrilling.
Sounds like a strong no from you.
Yeah. I'm very excited about the new Star Wars this weekend, and that's about the most brain power I plan to use at the movie.
Yeah, Brendan Fraser plays Dwight D. Eisenhower.
He was one of our presidents, Demetri.
Yeah, if you didn't know that.
And a great military leader as a general. Yeah.
Yes, he was the Allied commander in the second big one.
And Eisenhower was what, between Bush and Clinton? Between Clinton and Bush. I'm not great with history.
Who was your general there in Greece? What was his name? It was Telopoulos?
You got me beat, brother.
I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out.
I mean, like the Odyssey, which will come out later this summer. That's about the extent of Greek history that I will ever know, and I won't know it till I see the movie.
That's why I bring it up. I thought it was funny when you guys went on the vacation and we asked you about it, and you said you never had to do it again.
I did enjoy my big fat Greek wedding or whatever.
Oh, that's so funny. The guy with the Windex.
Movie. That was a good movie.
Does that really happen, Demetri?
Is Windex
so
cure
I had a cousin whose grandfather, it was not Windex, but he felt the same way about Campo Finique that character felt about Windex.
My grandmother, my meemaw, was Vicks Vapor Rub.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I'm not so sure that's a Greek thing as much as it is an old people thing. Like, they settle on one miracle cure, and they're just not going to learn anything else.
We might need to get Molly to watch My Big Greek Wedding or whatever it's called.
That'd be a good one for her.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, the guy from Northern Exposure, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
I can't remember what his real name is.
I can't either. The guy from Northern Exposure. That wasn't Fleischman.
Is it John Corbett? Is that right?
Or is that just it. That's good. That's a good call. That's good.
That was a good pull.
Demetri for the win.
Yeah, that was a good pull. All right, Demetri, we'll let you continue on with your sunbathing there on the back deck.
Very good. I'll be a nice, healthy brown the next time we talk.
Well, hopefully. You need a little bit more color on your bubble bath segments. So I'm glad you're out there.
Spray tan.
Now that we're into sleeveless season, don't I know it? Spray
tan some stuff. I told you could shave some stuff into your chest. We want messages. We want either subliminal or just right there for you in the next bubble bath.
Or just straight out advertising.
Straight out advertising.
I mean, as I've said to you guys many times, these ideas are great, but these are clearly coming from men without a plethora of chest hair that don't understand how hard it is to do that sort of thing.
You're right. I'm almost bald when it comes to the chest. That's just, it's my Cherokee
no better
history.
time than the present to say goodbye.
Yeah, that sounds like a goodbye to me.
All right, Demetri, have a good week. See you.
All right, guys. Talk to y'all later.
Shave the chest hair. Demetri Ravanos joining us.
It's not your thing.
No.
Talking about it.
No, my favorite, though, was the one he did with Kirby Smart and Drag. That was so good with AI.
That was good.
Demetri Ravanos joins us, as all of our guests do, on the Higginbotham Hotline.
Well, it is still going on in Hoover. It is just 12 minutes away from being a 4-hour game between Mizzou and Ole Miss.
We're going to have polls closing before this game's over.
1 out, bottom of the 9th inning. Mizzou holding on to a 10-8 lead. Rebels down to their final 2 outs, so we'll keep you posted there. This is Three Man Front on Jocks. It is 123. Welcome back. This is three-man front on Jocks. We keep waiting and waiting for this game to end. This is game one. And the reason why this is so interesting is because there's supposed to be game two, and then game three, Landrum, is supposed to start at 4:30. So you're going to have to clear the teams, work on the grounds, get the next game going. So if you're planning on going out to the Hoover Met tonight for dinner, just be prepared.
You forgot
be
buy new
for a while.
baseballs.
Yeah.
I mean, how many long balls have we already seen?
I believe the count is 7. Let me see if I can get you a final count.
I would love to see historically where it sits for one single game in the SEC, the modern tournament. How many home runs have actually been hit while in Hoover in one game?
Actually, 6 have been hit today, not 7.
Okay.
So,
but it's got to be up there.
Yes. So it's bottom of the ninth. It's 10-8. Mizzou leads, and it's now gone final. As the Ole Miss Rebels, a quick trip from Oxford to Birmingham, they will get on I-22 and they will head home as the Missouri Tigers have shocked the Ole Miss Rebels 10-8 as they will now move on in the SEC tournament. That is going to hurt Ole Miss in regards to their potential seeding moving forward in the postseason. But the Missouri Tigers, they will now play the Mississippi State Bulldogs tomorrow morning at 9:30.
It's good. Their season is still alive, which otherwise they would be packing up their gear and maybe heading to other places or calling it a career, I would think. But, yeah, good for Missouri, bad for, I would say, stadium personnel and those involved, and hoping that it would be an earlier night that they would be able to leave, but it's setting up right now like this one potentially, and I know we have the night session, but potentially this creeps into Wednesday.
3 hours and 55 minutes is the official game time for game one.
You think those radio crews, they were ready for that?
Hey, listen, if you win, you can be there all day long.
Oh, you don't care? No. Well, you imagine you're on the Ole Miss broadcast team, and you're like, I am out of Missouri bio stuff.
So now Kentucky and Vanderbilt will get ready. They usually between 20 and 30 minutes to water down the field, work on the batter's boxes, make sure, the hole in front of the pitching rubber is taken care of, change the bases out, things of that nature, and then get started. So let's just say they get started at 2 o'clock. The next game after that is supposed to be at 4:30, so this would need to be a pretty quick game between Kentucky and Vanderbilt. These are the 12 and the 13 seed coming up in the tournament. I'm just looking ahead. You've got Tennessee and South Carolina. That's supposed to be at 4:30. And then Oklahoma and LSU is the game after that.
Yeah. Golly, this is why now it appears you don't want to be playing on day one if you're a fan of one of these SEC teams, because it can get backed up in a hurry. Mention some news, and we mentioned it earlier in case you missed it. Drake Baldwin, Atlanta Star catcher, placed on the 10-day injured list due to an oblique strain. Atlanta has also released Aaron Bummer, reliever. Probably not a shocker if you watch Braves baseball and you've watched Aaron Bummer through his, 2+ seasons with the Braves. I'm seeing he is going to join there behind the plate. Sean Murphy is still out. Right now. But the good news is you get Ronald Acuna back. The bad news is you lose Drake Baldwin. J.R. Ritchie, by the way, the rookie pitcher who had been pretty good, all things considered, until last night. He ran into a good bit of trouble there at Lone Depot Park. He has been designated their option, if you will, to AAA.
Yeah, a few roster moves for the Atlanta Braves. They will continue their series with the Miami Marlins tonight. When we come back on Three-Man Front, we will continue to read your text messages, 205-834-9450. We're live at Social Taco on this Tuesday on Jocks.
131, three-man front. We continue live from Social Taco here in Homewood. Landrum and Pat hanging out. Steve from Tuscaloosa still residing, as are many. Sweet Mary, she decided to come back after the Curiosity Crate yesterday. We got Howie, Corey, Matthew, Stan, Dan, George, Michael. Not George Michael, but George and Michael all joining us. Larry is here, our Sergeant of Arms, and he's the pacifier, I guess. Is that what you call yourself, Larry? Yeah. 800-239-WJOX, 205-834-9450. If you're just now hearing the show, you've never heard it on Tuesday, we originate here from Social Taco. We're in the Taco Terrace. But we invite you not only on Tuesdays when we broadcast from 10 to 2, but throughout the week, you can enjoy the half-off happy hour, 3 to 6, Monday through Friday, the half-off drinks and appetizers. Enjoy the patio weather or nice, cool air conditioning inside. And then on the weekends, there's the Bottomless Tapas brunch. Yes, Bottomless Tapas, Larry. Brunch, not the kind of brunch you were thinking of. 10 to 2:30 on Saturdays, 10 to 2:30 on Sundays. SocialTaco.bar for more information. First game of the SEC baseball tournament, it just wrapped up. It got started at 9:30 this morning between Ole Miss and Missouri. It was a back-and-forth affair. Eventually, it was a 16th seed Missouri Tigers, who were not very good during the regular season, winning 10-8 over Ole Miss, so they move on to advance to tomorrow. Again, only single elimination. Ole Miss, their fate lies with the committee. We'll see what the Rebels and Mike Bianchi are playing in regional action, but something tells me maybe hosting there in Oxford might not be a possibility. I don't know how much this actually hurts them, though.
Yeah, they were the 9 seed and the number 1 baseball conference in America, so we'll have to wait to see what happens there. But as we talked to Jason Caldwell, it looks like Auburn is in really good shape. Their RPI is very strong. They have the 3rd best RPI in college baseball. Strength of schedule was number 1. The number of wins that they have, that's a reason why, yeah, they're a 6 seed and Alabama's a 4 seed. But the schedule that Auburn played and the wins that they have has been extremely impressive. So that's why the Auburn Tigers are already in that conversation for a super regional if they get past the first round of the NCAA tournament. So we'll see what happens. But a lot of people happy in Como, Missouri, because it has been a long time since the Missouri Tigers have made any noise whatsoever when it comes to the SEC baseball tournament. So they get the big upset today, 10-8. Over the Ole Miss Rebels, and we are awaiting the Kentucky Wildcats taking on a program that needs a win, and I'm talking about Vanderbilt. Both Vanderbilt and Kentucky, they need a win in a big way to try to maybe get into the college baseball tournament.
We do have a few little stories if we want to get to them today. The worst thing that I've seen, there's interesting stories, or we can push them aside as they get ready for Game 2 there in Hoover. But some of the bigger headlines today, of course, you had the Jamie Pollard, athletic director at Iowa State, and what he told the SEC and the Big Ten that they can go and do. If you want to find that, and also just what does it look like setting the stage for what we're going to see next week in Sandestin, Miramar Beach, Florida, for the SEC meetings when everybody gets together. And first and foremost, I would think that we're talking about the future of the college football playoff, a 9-game SEC schedule. Where does the SEC football championship, where does that fall in line? And how does that look out or look as we project out later in the future? So a lot of that stuff that we're following, as well as Will Wade continuing to get stuff done after everybody else has seemingly gotten their work done in the college basketball transfer portal.
Yeah, so Will Wade and LSU, they pulled off one of the biggest moves we've seen so far in the offseason. The Tigers have signed forward R.J. Luis. According to CBS Sports' Matt Zenitz, Luis was the 2025 Big East Player of the Year. He signed with the Utah Jazz as a two-way player, but then was traded to the Boston Celtics last offseason. He was waived before the start of his professional career. Luis was initially assigned to the Celtics G League affiliate, but never actually played a game as he was waived. in early November. He played for Rick Pitino at St. John's, averaged 18 points per game. He shot 44% from the field, 34% from the three-point arc. So now he will have his eligibility tested because he will have to get a court order, just like Bediako did, to be able to play for LSU this season. But no big surprise. We all knew that they were going to have to go that route anyway.
Yep, and that will not be the last route that we see from a college coach and trying to utilize some of these rules in these gray areas before we really have any guardrails. Why would you not? You're getting paid to win, and everybody's looking at it as a win at all costs almost mindset. So you'll see more of that. It's not just an LSU thing. It's a college athletics thing.
And meanwhile, Brendan Sorsby, that was the big story late yesterday afternoon as we were going off the air. But Brendan Sorsby, who had sought treatment for his gambling addiction, he filed for an injunction against the NCAA, seeking his college eligibility for the 2026 season. The filing, which was made in the district court in Lubbock County, Texas, cites the NCAA's deeply hypocritical position on gambling and a wholesale abandonment of its obligations and duties to promote the well-being of Sorsby. Sorsby put in court records, "If I cannot practice with the team, it will be severely detrimental to my mental health and my development as an athlete," end of quote.
Well, man, if I didn't get to watch Major League Baseball and the Braves this summer, that would probably be detrimental to my mental health. But I don't know. That's going to fall on a lot of deaf ears. What else? What other defense do you have?
The NCAA has made no public comment. Sorsby has offered a deal to the NCAA. He has offered to accept a 2-game suspension based on completing his residential treatment for his gambling addiction. He also offered to work with the NCAA to educate others on the dangers of gambling.
Here's my thing, Pat. I don't think I even offer that up. Because I'm like you. If I'm the NCAA, I'm looking at potentially the severity of these charges.
At least 6 games.
That's going to hack me off when you come back with 2.
Yeah.
Like, do you not understand what we're dealing with here? I understand it from his side, where you want to have a little room. You don't want to start at 6, and then all of a sudden we're at 12 real quick.
Well, here's the arrogance. The arrogance is what gives you the right to try to negotiate. Like, he's not the person in power. It's the NCAA.
You're at the mercy of the court.
Absolutely. Like, you have nothing to stand on for you to walk in and say, yeah, I'll voluntarily take a 2-game suspension. Well, I bet you would. I mean, he also admitted in court filings that he did gamble on the football team that he was a member of. He said he did so that he would feel more connected to his team, to root on my friends, and to feel like I had a real stake in the games that I otherwise were not involved in. He added, because the Indiana football team was not a very strong competitor in 2022, I lost most of my bets I placed. It wasn't just that on Indiana basketball or football he bet on. He also bet on Cincinnati basketball when he was a member of the Bearcats football team. Court documents revealed that he was betting on Turkish basketball, Romanian soccer, obscure doubles tennis matches, and Nathan's famous hot dog contest.
Honey, you were out of town. I went to the strip club so I could feel connected to you. Betting to feel connected to his team. Stop it. Stop it, Brendan.
Turkish basketball, Romanian soccer, obscure doubles tennis matches, and Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest. Which of those have you ever bet on, Landrum?
What were the options?
Turkish Basketball League.
0.
Romanian soccer.
0.
Obscure doubles tennis matches.
No.
And Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest.
I might. That year that we had Chestnut on our show, I might have
that year
thrown like $1 or $2.
Okay.
In the account just to see. I can't remember if I did or not. Brendan Sorsby. How much do you think this attorney, is this attorney, they have somebody that's representing him?
It depends if he's getting his $5 million from Cody Campbell.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's doing it pro bono.
Good point.
Yesterday, 30-plus members of the Presidential Committee on College Sports signed a letter addressed to Senators Cruz and Cantwell. They were offering their support to the still developing legislation. You remember Friday, before he went off the air, there was breaking news that it appeared that the very first part of the week, this motion by Cruz and Cantwell was going to go to the floor, and they were going to vote on it. And they really felt good about the situation. Well, now you've got a problem because you've got all sorts of groups that have come out against this proposed legislation. Meanwhile, of those 30-plus members I was just telling you about signed their name to the document, the NCAA president did not put his name on it. Neither did the Big Ten or SEC commissioner. The letter addressed the missing signatures by saying the commissioners of the Big Ten and SEC have expressed their views directly to you. In other words, when they met with the president and they spoke publicly, that's why, according to this signed document, that's why they did not put their names on this. They also had 7 players, a player from Army, a player from Notre Dame, a female athlete from Texas, another female athlete from Baylor, a young man from Georgetown, another Notre Dame player, and a player from Toledo. They all signed their name to the documents saying that they were in favor of the legislation that would bring some type of guardrails to the situation.
Look, and I love it. I'm all about it. I found it interesting, the group of – it's just an interesting selection, I guess, of schools. Maybe I should not read anything into it, but some pretty prestigious universities there.
And I also understand that based on some things that we have seen during this program today, that there have been certain groups. I think the Congressional Black Caucus, they came out and rendered their opinion on the situation about the SCORE Act, and some other legislative caucuses have done the same. This is going to be a tough uphill battle, as we've talked about all the time. But you do have this potential support from the Democrat and the Republican side to try to get something done. But as with everything in Washington, it looks like it's going to be take a time or two to get something done.
Yep. What's new, right? Text line is open, 205-834-9450. This one coming in from one of our listeners says, don't really follow baseball. This is probably a dumb question, but why is the ground crew going to be upset about all of the home runs?
They would be upset over the fact that the game has been extended and that they would be off the schedule. They could care less if the balls are being hit over the fence. It was just the fact that more home runs means the game time is going to be lengthier, which means that could push them into doing their work at the stadium.
That means when they're dragging the field instead of at midnight and they're doing it at 2:30 a.m.?
That's why.
Yeah. That's why. They're just going ahead and playing out what it's probably going to do. Starting the day with a 4-hour game will do that to you. This one rolling in, Al asks, how many times has the last game of the day in Hoover gone past midnight? It must be a record of some kind. Today steps up to be another. Yeah, it does. Cook has chimed in. He says, I don't have a dog in the race, but I do think it's unfair what LSU basketball is doing. Once pen meets paper, you sign an NBA contract, including G League, you should be deemed ineligible. Also for players overseas, they have a strong advantage for playing in the pro leagues. Even though we may see the NBA league is stronger, at the end of the day, pro basketball is still pro basketball. Let us not forget, a lot of the top NBA players right now came from those exact same leagues. You're correct.
Well, listen, we talked about it incessantly when we were discussing Charles Bediako. The whole issue needs to be addressed this offseason, period. For the international player to try to protect those in the United States that would like to try to get scholarships and to play basketball. You've got a 26-year-old Euro star that has just been signed by LSU. He's going to get to play. He's been a pro for many, many years. He's going to have to get an injunction there. We just told you about Luis, who played at St. John's and played at Utah for the Utah Jazz and the Boston Celtics, but now he wants to come back to college. I mean, it has to be addressed in some form or fashion because the CSC and the NCAA, everything that they've been trying to do, they've been being fought at every corner and turn in all this. So we'll see.
Someone firing in would imagine the most of the crew, the grounds crew, is hourly employees. Probably don't mind. Maybe that's the case. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure Hoover's also got a great crew that works in there, whether it's Parks and Recreation or just handles the stadium in general.
I told you got volunteers and booster groups that are running the concession stands. I ran into a buddy that I played childhood baseball with that was running it for his kids' youth program. That's going to do it for us. We appreciate all of you joining us as we continue here from Social Taco. Keep it right here on Jocks. Coming up tomorrow, got a big show. Thanks for joining us. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.